सदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुन् श्रीयुतापतकमलम् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं या श्रीरूपं साग्रजातम् सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं स्वावधूतं परिजनासाहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश वृषभानुष्टुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरववृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shashwin. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances. All Guru Shishla Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, and my humble obeisances to all of you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ashwin Prabhu, for doing the Mangalacharan so beautifully, as always. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam 2.5.11 today. So before I start, I pay my obeisances to my Guru and to all the Gurus who has helped me to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam today. To all of you for giving me the opportunity for being able to serve all of you. And I seek blessings from all of you and my Guru too before I start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskritam Narachaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Ujamudira Nashtaprasha Patreshu Tamapata Seva Bhagavati Uttamashlake Bhakti Bhavanashtaki. So the verse so please, I apologize for my Sanskrit pronunciation. So Yena Svarochisha Vishwam Rochitam Rochayamyaham Yatarkognira Yatar Somo Yataraksha Grahatarakaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I create the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence known as the Brahmajyoti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness. Purport. Brahmaji said to Narada that his impression that Brahma was not the supreme authority in the creation was correct. Sometimes less intelligent men have the foolish impression that Brahma is the cause of all causes. But Narada wanted to clear the matter by the statements of Brahmaji, the supreme authority in the universe. As the decision of the Supreme Court of a state is final, similarly the judgment of Brahmaji, the supreme authority in the universe, is final in the Vedic process of knowledge acquiring. As we have already affirmed in the previous verse, Naraji was a liberated soul. Therefore, he was not one of the less intelligent men who accept a false god or gods in their own ways. He represented himself as less intelligent and yet intelligently presented a doubt to be cleared by the supreme authority, so that the uninformed might take note of it and be rightly informed about the intricacies of the creation and the creator. In this verse, Brahmaji clears up the wrong impression held by the less intelligent and affirms that he creates the universal variegatedness after the creation by the glaring effulgence of Lord Sri Krishna. Brahmaji has also separately given this statement in the Samhita known as the Brahma Samhita 5.40, where he says, Yasa Prabha Prabhavato Jagad Andakoti, Kotishva Shesha Vasudadi Vibhuti Vinam, Tat Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Putam, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Pajami. I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental bodily effulgence, known as the Brahmajyoti, which is unlimited, unfathomed, and all-pervasive, is the cause of the creation of unlimited number of planets, etc., with varieties of climates and specific conditions of life. The same statement is in the Bhagavad Gita 14.27. Lord Krishna is the background of the Brahmajyoti, Brahmano hi pratishtataha. In the Nirukti or Vedic dictionary, the import of pratishtha is mentioned as that which establishes. So the Brahmajyoti is not independent or self-sufficient. Lord Sri Krishna is ultimately the creator of the Brahmajyoti, mentioned in this verse as Svarachisha, or the effulgence of the transcendental body of the Lord. The Brahmajyoti is all-pervading, and all creation is made possible by its power. Therefore, the Vedic hymns declare that everything that exists is being sustained by the Brahmajyoti. Sarvam Kalividam Brahma. Therefore, the potent seed of all creation is the Brahmajyoti, and the same Brahmajyoti, unlimited and unfathomed, is established by the Lord. Therefore, the Lord Sri Krishna is ultimately the supreme cause of all creation. Aham sarvasya prabhaha. One should not expect the Lord to create like a blacksmith with a hammer and other instruments. The Lord creates by his potencies. He has his multifarious potencies. Parasya shaktir vividhaiva shudyate. Just as the small seed of a banyan fruit has the potency to create a big banyan tree, the Lord disseminates all varieties of seeds by his potent Brahmajyoti or Svarachisha, and the seeds are made to develop by the watering process of the persons like Brahma. Brahma cannot create the seeds, but he can manifest the seed into a tree, just as a gardener helps plant the orchards to grow by the watering process. The example cited here of the sun is very appropriate. In the material world, the sun is the cause of all illumination, fire, electricity, the rays of the moon, etc. All luminaries in the sky are creations of the sun. The sun is the creation of the Brahmajyoti, and the Brahmajyoti is the effulgence of the Lord. Thus, the ultimate cause of creation is the Lord. So that is the verse, the beautiful verse, and the purport. So with all your permission and all your blessings, I start discussing a bit about this verse. If I do make any mistakes, please do correct me. So this verse, again, just a quick recap. We have been hearing about in the last chapter, Parikshit Maharaj heard about the Lord, had more further queries about the Lord, and asked a few questions to Sukhdev Goswami. And Sukhdev Goswami, before he started to answer the questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj, Sukhdev Goswami glorifies the Lord so that, he is empowered to be able to speak about the Lord accurately, and give the message that is the absolute truth. And whilst doing so, Sukhdev Goswami also mentions to Parikshit Maharaj that just as you have asked me questions, these questions are very, very similar to the questions that were asked by Narad Muni to Lord Brahma. And he gives the similar situation where such a question was asked. So right at the outset, we see a few common points here again, which is repeated over and over in so many throughout the Bhagavatam, about this dialogue, about asking questions, and also about being asked question by someone who is already an enlightened person. So we see Sukhdev Goswami asking, Parikshit Maharaj asking questions to Sukhdev Goswami. And we know, we have heard, we have read how Parikshit Maharaj is a great personality, how he's a true devotee of the Lord, how he was, self-realized, so much so that he was able to leave his kingdom and give up the last few days of his life only in serving the Lord and hearing about the Lord. So such a self-realized person had the hunger of hearing more about the Lord. But why did he do that? Not because he wanted, yes, to a certain extent, maybe he had that hunger. Definitely he wanted to hear more about the Lord, because a true devotee is never, ever tired of hearing about the Lord. But at the same time, he's doing that to benefit the common people or the people around him. And in the end, right at the end, us, the people of Kali Yuga, he has done us such a great favor in asking those questions so that the answers could benefit us. And very, very similarly, right at the beginning, we are told over here in the purport that Narad Muni asked the similar questions to Lord Brahma. And Narad Muni, as we have just seen in the previous verses, that he is already an enlightened person. He does not need these to be answered as such, and yet he asked these questions because he's so merciful, and just like as is the characteristic of a true devotee, he is so merciful that he wants to hear that, he wants to behave as if he is ignorant, so that the answers are given to him and those answers can benefit the others who are listening to those answers. So again, we see over and over how Srimad Bhagavatam highlights the true nature of a true devotee, someone who is not afraid to call himself ignorant for the benefit of the others, and despite being a very, very knowledgeable person, despite knowing who the Lord is, they would pretend, or they would want to ask more about the Lord, just so that it can benefit people around us, or benefit posterity, or people who comes later. So that is how we start the verse. But what is the core teaching of this verse? The verse teaches us, right, the absolute core teaching of this verse, where Brahmaji is telling Lord Narad Muni that I am not the main creator, I am only the secondary creator. And it immediately focuses on the point that, you know, or rather it contrasts to what conditioned souls in the material universe are used to. So the core teaching of this verse is around identification of a bewildered, ignorant, and conditioned soul in this material world, trapped in this material world. So whereas in this material world, what people always think about, or you know, the main thing, or the primary notion of most conditioned souls are aham mameti, or I, it is all I, it is all is mine, everything is mine, I am the Lord. And that is the sorry state of the people in this world. But in this verse, Brahmaji right away contrasts it, right away sets the standard as saying that nothing is mine. Oh, silly people of this material world, understand that nothing is yours. Everything is created by the Lord. So that is the stone. So that is the tone set by Lord Brahma right at the beginning, telling us that nothing is us, and that is the core teaching, which is further explained in the purport again. So the verse and the purport touches upon a few other things. Obviously, as we said, it tells us that we are not everything. That, you know, it is not, we must never focus on I. It is not I. This is not my world. Everything is not mine. But there is somebody else. There is the Supreme who is in charge of everything that is happening to us, or everything that is given to us. And in doing so, we have seen the character of, we've seen Narad Muni, the character of Narad Muni, and Parikshit Maharaj and Sukhdev Goswami as disciples. So this is again another point being stressed upon. Again, a very, very important point in our Vedic culture, the nature of guru and disciple. Parikshit Maharaj asking Sukhdev Goswami, Narad Muni asking Lord Brahma, so Narad Muni is Lord Brahma's Manasputra, or born from Lord Brahma's mind. So Narad Muni asking Lord Brahma as his father, as his guru, what is the truth? And this parampara system, from Narad Muni, it goes to, the knowledge goes to Vyasdeva, from Vyasdeva to Sukhdev Goswami, and from Sukhdev Goswami, you see Parikshit Maharaj. So this parampara system is to acquire true knowledge. But this guru disciple system is again established in this verse, that, we get the knowledge, the true knowledge, not from random people, not from anybody, but from the true guru. And who is a true guru? Someone who says the word of the Lord. And where does the guru get the word from the Lord? From his guru. And further on, and it goes up to Lord Brahma, who hears it right from the Lord himself. So when Lord Brahma, so that is the Guru Parampara in our Vedic literature. And what it also establishes by saying that, Narad Muni asked this question as an ignorant person, as the purport says, that, we know Narad Muni was enlightened and he still asked the question. So what does it say about what a true disciple should be? What is the role of a true disciple? Now, the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures tell us that a disciple has there are various qualities of a true disciple, but the three main qualities are pranipata, which is surrender to your guru, surrender to the Lord. Number 2, prashna, ask the questions, but not ask the question to test your guru. Not ask the question because, you want to see how much your guru knows, but ask the question in ignorance, acknowledging your ignorance, acknowledging that you don't know something and wanting to seek knowledge from your guru. So that is the meaning of prashna. And that is, nowadays when we talk about prashna, it's translated as question. And we see the format of questioning is abused in so many ways. And people are asked questions, in various tones, to test people or to be sarcastic to people, but not really what it actually should be, as the Vedas say. To ask somebody or to ask prashna to somebody is to acknowledge one's ignorance and to seek knowledge from the guru, from the person you're asking the question to. So the true disciple, the first quality is surrendering, pranipata. Second is prashna, or asking question. And right at the end, it is seva, or service. And what is service? To follow the instructions of the guru to the last T. So everything, as the guru says, not, these are the instructions given by the guru, and I will just do what I like and what is possible for me to do. That is not seva. That is not the identity of a true disciple. A true disciple is only one who accepts the instructions of the guru as the final word and delivers whatever has been asked by the guru. So when Lord Brahma, when he was, he was looking for knowledge, he was, going up and down the lotus stem, not knowing what to do. And then he meditated and with, saying tapa, 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 and he pleased the Lord. So the Lord came in front of him and gave the knowledge into his heart. And that knowledge was the absolute truth, along with the instructions of what to do. And Brahmaji, he created the universe based on the Lord's words. So we again see that by right at the beginning, the verse and the purport also touches a bit about the true nature of a guru and disciple, and the true nature of that paramparic system that is so much established in our Vedic culture. So then, moving on, the verse talks about what Brahmaji says to Narad Muni about the Lord. And Lord Brahma says that, yes, Narad, you're absolutely right, that I am not the creator. I did not create this world, but it is by the Lord's personal effulgence that this world has been created. And what is the Lord's personal effulgence? That is his Brahmajyoti. And we'll come a bit later on talking about the Brahmajyoti. But then Brahmaji goes on to say that, just as when the sun manifests its energy, its light, its fire, so the moon, the sky, which is the firmament, is the sky, the moon, the sky, the influential planets. Now, which planets would you call as influential? There are many planets, but whether it's the sun, pardon?
Sun planet.
Yes, of course, the sun. Yes, could the sun, the moon, I mean, obviously there are lots and lots of influential planets, but in astrology, there's Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury. So this, the sun, the moon. So all these planets, so whether it's Ravi or Som as the moon, or Vud as in Mercury, Jupiter as in Brihaspati, Venus as in Shukra, Mars as in Mangal, so and obviously loads of other planets. So these planets, just as the planets are lighted by the sun's effulgence, by the sun's rays, similarly, the Lord's Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence of the Lord, illuminates everything, is the source of everything being created. And how is that so? We will hear a bit later on. And Brahmaji says that yes, sometimes less intelligent men, they have the foolish impression that it is I, it is me, as Lord Brahma, who is the cause of all causes, who has created this world. But that is not right. So Narad, you are right in saying that I am only following the instructions of the Lord, because as he says in the Brahma Samhita, and as is also mentioned in the purport, that he mentions that the Lord is the cause of all causes, and I serve the personality of the supreme personality of the Lord of Godhead, Govinda, whose transcendental bodily effulgence, known as the Brahma Jyoti, which is the unlimited, unfathomed, and all-pervasive, is the cause of creation of unlimited number of planets with varieties. So that is what Lord Brahma says. And we know how he famously says in the Brahma Samhita that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, that Lord Krishna is the source of all creation, the cause of all causes, and he is Parama Krishna. Ishvara is he, the God is he is the supreme. So Lord Brahma starts with this saying that, yes, so forget about me being the supreme, forget about me being the creator. It is Lord Krishna who is the creator of everything. And the purport mentions that why should we believe in Lord Krishna? So why are we taking his words for granted when he says that Krishna is the supreme and he's only following instructions? And we are told that it is because Lord Brahma is like the Supreme Court. And just like the Supreme Court's verdict is the final verdict in any state, similarly, we have to accept Lord Brahma's verdict as the final verdict, because had he not received the instructions from the Lord, he wouldn't have been able to create the universe. He is the first person in this universe, the first jiva in this universe, and from him, the secondary creation starts. So we really do not have any authority to not believe in Lord Brahma. So we have to accept the fact that just like the Supreme Court's verdict is the ultimate truth, the ultimate verdict, similarly, Lord Brahma, who was directly given instructions by the Lord, and had he not followed the instructions exactly as the Lord had said, we would not have the universe around us. So in that case, there is no other option, there is no other way, there is no other choice, and there is no other meaning to anything other than believing in Krishna, in believing in Lord Brahma. So he is like the Supreme Court, and that is the reason we have to believe in him. So not just Lord Brahma, we go on to find out that, Krishna himself says this in so many ways across the Shastras, and again, very famously in the Bhagavad Gita in 14.27, Krishna says that he is the background of the Brahmajyoti, or Brahmano hi pratishthataham, meaning Pratishta, that means that which establishes. So Lord Krishna says that he is the creator of the Brahmajyoti, which is the effulgence of the transcendental body of the Lord. So now we come to the question, we are talking about the Brahmajyoti so much. What is the Brahmajyoti? We have read about the Brahmajyoti. So what is the Brahmajyoti, and what is the function of the Brahmajyoti? And the Lord says here directly that the Brahmajyoti is the effulgence of the transcendental body of the Lord, the energy, the effulgence of the Lord. So it is only because of the Brahmajyoti that the creation is made possible. It is the power of the Brahmajyoti. Okay, and that is the reason, and by its powers, the Vedas describe that everything that exists in this creation is only sustained by the Brahmajyoti. And how is that described? It's described as Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. And what does that mean? That means that all the creation is one. It may appear in this universe as very different things, different different living entities, different objects, the people living in different places, people looking different, or different entities looking different, animals, or other living beings. But at the end, at the core of everything, they all come together, and they're all one. They're all chained together by one existence, by one energy, the one effulgence, that is Brahmajyoti. So everything comes into union through that energy, through that Lord's energy, and right at the end, that all is belonging to Lord Krishna. So Brahmajyoti, do we say that is Lord Krishna? Well, yes and no. We know that, right at the beginning, we are told that Krishna, we can know Krishna in three different ways. We can know Krishna as the Brahmajyoti, as Paramatma, and as Bhagavan. But when and even the other day, we were talking about how the impersonalists identify themselves with the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of Krishna, whereas the devotees, they identify themselves, if they are, some of them go only up to the Paramatma, but the true pure devotees, they identify Lord Krishna as the Bhagavan, the very, very personal Bhagavan. So we understand that the Lord, the Bhagavan is the ultimate, the very, very personal form of the Lord is the supreme. And through him, he creates the energy. The Brahmajyoti is his creation. So through him, that effulgence is created, and that effulgence, that energy of the Lord, in turn, is in charge, or is the reason where through which the entire creation is created. So the potent seed, the absolute potent seed of all creation is the Brahmajyoti, is created through the Brahmajyoti, and that is the supreme cause. So when in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna says that Aham Sarvasya Prabhaha, or I am the supreme ultimate truth and the cause of all causes, and I am the spiritual and I am the source of all the spiritual and material worlds, and everything emanates from me. So he says that, you know, everything does come from me. And when he mentions that everything comes from me, that also includes the Brahma Jyoti. So what we are made to understand from here is that the Lord in himself, he is, and that is what is said towards the end of the purport as well, that the Lord does not create like a blacksmith, you know, with a hammer and other instruments. The Lord creates by his potencies. The Lord creates by his energies. So he says in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, he says that Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Shuyate, or the Supreme Lord has nothing to do, and no one is found to be equal or greater than him, for everything is done naturally and systematically by his multifarious energies. So we see the Lord in himself, he is the enjoyer. He loves to be just the cowherd boy and enjoys life as a cowherd boy, but he creates, he maintains, sustains, annihilates, creates again. Everything is done through his potencies, through his energies. And one way the way he does it is through his Brahma Jyoti. So the seeds are created by the Lord through the Brahma Jyoti. The seeds of creation is already created by the Lord through the Brahma Jyoti. But what, when it comes to Lord Brahma in the form of instructions, Lord Brahma, he's not capable of creating the seed, but what he has done, or what he does do, is that with the seeds of creations that are given to him by the Lord through the Brahma Jyoti, he manifests them and he creates the universe using those seeds and making them into the universe as it is. Just like if we have a seed, if we plant a seed in the soil, we see that seed growing into a beautiful plant. But we cannot create the seed. The seed is already existent. What we can do is we can water the seed so that it grows into a plant. So similarly, Lord Brahma is trying to say that I do not have the ability to create that seed of creation. That it comes only from the Brahma Jyoti of the Lord. The Brahma Jyoti is full of the seeds of creation, and the Brahma Jyoti gives those seeds of creations to me. And how to use those seeds comes as the instructions from the Lord. So my task is only to water those seeds. And how do I water the seeds? By listening, by hearing, by following the instructions of the Lord. And when I water those seeds through the instructions of the Lord, by listening to the instructions of the Lord, that is when the secondary creation is created. So I really have nothing to do with the actual creation of the seeds. So that comes from the Brahma Jyoti. So the Brahma Jyoti is very much in charge of giving me or allowing that creation to happen. And who is in charge of the Brahma Jyoti? It comes directly from Bhagavan. It comes from Krishna himself. So at the end of it, all thing goes back to Krishna. Everything, the source of everything is Krishna. The cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam, that goes back directly to Krishna. So whatever is happening, so Brahmaji says to Lord Narada, whatever is happening, it is happening ultimately because of Lord Krishna. So, so we see over here, we are being mentioned how very, very systematically the verse takes us through so many points. It starts with, you know, making us understand that we must immediately shift our position from aham mameti, from the fact that I am everything, I am in the source, and I am, you know, I am in charge of myself. Immediately, we must shift that position and try to come to what Lord Brahma is saying. And what is Lord Brahma saying? He's acknowledging the fact that Lord Narada tells him that, yes, Narada, you're right in saying that I am not the true creator. I'm only the secondary creator of this universe. So what it also highlights is that the parampara system of how Narad Muni is again being glorified as the true devotee of the Lord. And what is the true devotee of the Lord? Someone who's humble, someone who with humility listens, acknowledges the fact that they are not they are ignorant, and they need to seek knowledge from the right person, from their guru. And in this way, it's also teaching us the mere mortals who are completely you know, swallowed, and I would say swallowed, or completely encompassed, covered with the material desires, the material energy, and whose souls are so conditioned that we forget sometimes to to ask questions the right way. So we are being reminded again in this verse to ask questions, to ask our prashnas, but ask them for the right reason, for wanting to know and wanting to seek true knowledge. And that is what Lord Brahma is giving us in this verse: knowledge that he is the secondary creator. And that is what conditioned souls should seek: knowledge which will take them towards the truth, the real truth, not the truth which is covered in falsity, because we fail to understand, we fail to realize what the real truth is, because our eyes, our senses are so much covered, so much conditioned. So that is being mentioned over and over, and that is being highlighted in this verse. We are also told how Krishna, in so many different ways, he tells us throughout the Shastra, in so many different ways, through his devotees, that he is everything, that he is in charge of everything, and all he needs is for the conditioned souls to realize that and go back to him. And that is what the Lord Brahma is doing as well in this verse. He's telling us, he's telling the audience, he's telling Narad Muni, he's telling the audience that at the core of everything, at the source of everything is Brahma Jyoti. And who is the source of Brahma Jyoti? The source of Brahma Jyoti is Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. So our position in this material world is only one thing, that, you know, we go back to Lord Krishna. We realize that everything comes from him, so our only duty is to serve the Lord Krishna. And is it serving as just mechanically, but no, serve him through devotion, serve him through bhakti, serve him through love. So that is how we should go back to. We should try to connect with the Lord. And then we are talked about, the Prabhupada also gives us the very, very interesting position of Lord Krishna himself, that, he himself is the enjoyer. So he is the original Purusha, he's the enjoyer. And all of us, all of us, he creates us all for his enjoyment. So we are all Prakriti. And the Lord creates, the original Purusha creates this for his enjoyment. So he himself is not the doer, but his potencies are, his energies are. And by stressing so much on Brahmajyoti in this verse, we are being told over and over again just how important and how powerful his potencies, his energies are, because these energies are able to create everything. The Brahmajyoti can create, is the source of all creation. The seeds of creation, it comes from the Brahmajyoti. And the very, very interesting analogy is given of the sun, where the sun's rays lights up, gives light to all the other planets who are lighted by the sun's rays. And also the fact that even electricity, things like electricity, that's created from the sun. So it's not made by mere mortals, that, it's not just science that somebody has all of a sudden created electricity. Yes, it was discovered. It was discovered by a human being that there is the existence of electricity, but where does that electricity come from? And it goes back to the sun. And where does sun and all of creation, where does everything come from? It comes from that effulgence. It comes from that Brahmajyoti. And where does Brahmajyoti, who is in charge of Brahmajyoti? It is the Lord himself. So again, we are being, in an indirect way, we are being told that yes, it is very nice to worship the Brahmajyoti, to think that, the Brahmajyoti, because the Brahmajyoti is the source of the seeds of creation, it is absolutely right to think that there is nothing or nobody or greater than the Brahmajyoti, but it is not absolutely right to stop over there, because we need to further question ourselves as to where did the Brahmajyoti come from? Who is the creator of Brahmajyoti? And that is where it will take us to Lord Krishna, that he is, and not just Lord Krishna, who is Lord Krishna, and the fact that Lord Krishna has unlimited potencies, unlimited energies, and because he's the source of all these energies, whatever is created through these energies ultimately goes back to him. So we are told right at the end in the purport that, all luminaries in the sky are creations of the sun, and the sun is the creation of the Brahmajyoti, and the Brahmajyoti is the effulgence of the Lord. So, in truth, the ultimate cause of all creation is the Lord. So that is the knowledge being given to us in this verse, that, forget about the minor creations. We first think of somebody discovered something in this material world, we glorify that person, but how was that person able to discover it? He will have got knowledge from somewhere. He will have got knowledge from a guru. And that where did that guru get his knowledge? So that guru parampara, and what is knowledge? Is knowledge just material knowledge? But no, Lord Brahma is saying that knowledge is the knowledge of the truth. And we must identify the difference between material knowledge and the truth, the absolute truth, the true knowledge, the supreme knowledge. And that is what we should seek for. Seek for, in humility, the supreme knowledge which will take us to the absolute truth, which will make us identify or realize that, what everything around us goes back, whichever route we take, wherever we go to, wherever we stop at, we are bound to ask that question that, yes, we have stopped here. This is where we think that everything is created from, but we will always have the question again to ask that, where did this come from? We are stopping at some place. We are stopping at a position, say A, but we need to further question ourselves that where did that point A come from? And whichever way we see, our Vedas tell us through Lord Brahma, through our acharyas, through our gurus, it takes us to the same source, that everything right at the end comes from Lord Krishna. So the ultimate message being given in this verse is that, yes, we must realize, we must respect our gurus, we must identify the huge source of knowledge that we get from our gurus, but we do, and we respect them more because they are carrying the absolute truth of the Supreme Personality of God. And they have been empowered by the Lord to be able to share this knowledge with their disciples. So our duty is to be the true disciple, ask and seek knowledge with humility from our gurus, and accept the knowledge given by our gurus as the absolute truth, just like the purport says that whatever knowledge is being given by Lord Brahma, that he is the secondary creator, that should be accepted as the absolute truth, like the verdict of the Supreme Court. And when we accept that, we will be able to realize how great Lord Krishna is. And when we realize how great Lord Krishna is, the conditioned souls will automatically turn towards Lord Krishna, not just out of duty, but once they internalize the knowledge, once they understand the knowledge, they will turn to Lord Krishna out of respect, but mostly out of bhakti, out of devotion, and ultimately out of love. And that is what Lord Krishna wants. That is why he is through Brahmajyoti, through Lord Brahma, through the gurus. That is the only message being given by Lord Krishna to all of us. The message of love, the message of bhakti, the message of devotion, that will take us back to him, back to Godhead. So I complete the discussion today with what is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bole Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Cha Dhare Prema Dhan, meaning any desire to satisfy ourselves, thinking of us to be the Lord, that desire is selfish, and that desire is calm. So whatever we are doing in this world, it is really calm. But Krishnendriya Priti Ichcha Dhare Prema Dhan. If we do things selflessly, if we acquire knowledge selflessly without thinking about ourselves, but receiving the knowledge from our gurus and believing in them, and understanding who Lord Krishna is, and wanting from our heart, wanting to serve that Lord Krishna, Krishnendriya Priti Icha, wanting to serve Krishna out of devotion with bhakti, that automatically becomes prema-dhan, that automatically becomes love. And that is the teaching again, over and over again, in every single verse of every single shastra, that it is bhakti, it is devotion, it is love that binds us to Lord Krishna. He is the core of everything. He's the cause of all causes. And we are way down here in this material world. But the only thing that will be able to take us back to Lord Krishna is realizing who he is and loving him for who he is. And that is the message being given to us again by Lord Brahma here, that Lord Krishna is in charge of all of creation, is in charge of everything. So Lord Narad Muni, you're absolutely right in saying that I am only the secondary creator, and it is Lord Krishna who is the supreme personality of everything, and he's the cause of all causes. So with that, I finish our discussion over here. If I've made any mistakes, please do correct me.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for this wonderful class. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you so much once again for taking your precious time to explain to us all this nice knowledge. Sometimes we know a little bit, but we forget it. But it's thank you speakers like you who come and all the time revive it into us, so that yes, ultimate goal is Krishna, and our position is loving devotional service to him. It is there, yes, but we keep forgetting. But thank you, Mataji, for nicely explaining about Narad Muni and the comparison with Parikshit Maharaj and Arjuna, who were in delusion. They were put into delusion by Lord Krishna so that they can ask questions, probe for questions for us. Even Narada is a great personality, but yet he's probing. If we read these verses like nicely, we will see how he is trying to ask his father, Lord Brahma, are you the first creator? Oh, you are the first creator. You are the first. But then Lord Brahma said, no, I am not. And then he said, I see you meditating on something. So you must be meditating on someone who's higher than you. So here we see these three great personalities. They are not ordinary people, Arjuna, Parikshit Maharaj, and Narad Muni. But still, they ask questions. And thank you for reminding us that while we ask questions, we should be very submissive, in a submissive mood, asking questions, not knowing the answer and trying to challenge other people, other speakers, other gurus. No, we should be submissive and we should be like genuine in asking the question. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the points, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Thank you. It's such a simple verse, as you Mataji said. Such a simple, it's simple in many ways, but it's, as Mataji said, it tells us, it just reminds us again what we tend to forget in our everyday lives, that you know, we must relate everything back to Krishna. So yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Arya Govind Prabhuji, you are mute.
Oh, sorry, Mataji. Yeah, as discussed, we need to remind ourselves that, we are part and parcel of Krishna, and then how great Krishna is. And we need to know from our seniors and then our Guru Jan and from the Sadhu Shastras that, how to get this knowledge, how great he is. It's not possible for, like as Prabhupada has said, this Dr. Frog philosophy. So we cannot understand the knowledge of Krishna by Dr. Frog's philosophy, and then we need to understand from the right source, like how Narada Muni is asking. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this wonderful session. I request Indulekha Mataji to end the session. Is it possible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. So again, thank you, Mataji. Please keep coming, keep reminding us of our position towards the Lord, and thank you so much for narrating this verse so nicely. Also, we came through the beautiful verse from Brahma Samhita, and we will keep coming through many verses of Brahma Samhita actually, because it's Brahma talking. So thank you so much. And I would request all the devotees present here to please unmute and let's chant the Maha Mantra in glorification of Panchali Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kృపా సింధు భవైవచ పతితానాం పావనేభ్యో వైష్ణవేభ్యో నమః. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णविन की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, Her Grace Panchali Mataji ki jai. And thank you for everyone. Thank you to Shashwin, who have seen after a long time, and for reciting the Mangacharan so nicely. And thank you for everyone who has joined today. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, and thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice.